right?
Oh, absolutely, there'll be one. Probably one for Dennis Gilbert too.
Yes. Okay. Sure. All right. Quick turnaround. The trade was pretty recent, but here comes Ottawa. You and I spoke a lot before the deadline. Like, what can the Sabres do? Another miss this year, no playoffs probably. And what you wanted was to see them shake up the core, right? Like just do something where one of these young players has been given a big contract, some kind of different combination is needed here. Kevin Adams was talking pretty much the same way as we got close to the deadline, and that's what he ended up doing with this with the Cousins move. I mean, it's been a while now, and I know he's had a pretty good start for Ottawa, but as you think about the trade and just like the Cousins part of it, I doubt it surprised you, and maybe you even liked it.
No, I did like the trade, and it doesn't surprise me that Cousins is doing well so far in Ottawa. I mean, he's energized. It's there's been a cloud over this arena for 14 years of absolute horrible losing, and it gets to guys. I mean, I know fans don't sometimes think of athletes being human, but they are human, and it gets to you when you come in the door and you're out of it by January 1st. And I know they have nobody to blame but themselves, but the fact remains is they're still walking in the building every day after January 1st knowing they are not going to be in the playoffs. And you just keep losing and losing and losing and losing, and it just brings you so far down. And then all of a sudden you get traded, and I did see him for a few minutes in the hotel lobby after he got traded, and he had tears in his eyes. He couldn't talk at the time really on record. And I totally understood. He was very emotional about it. He wanted to be part of the solution here, not part of the problem that gets traded. And but then he shows up in Ottawa, and there they are in a playoff race. And now everything's going well, and everybody's up, and now he's up, and ready to go. I mean, this is exciting. When was the last time exciting was used as the word being a Buffalo Sabre? Maybe opening night, and after that it's downhill after that. So, I see why he's doing well right now, and we'll see how it goes, throughout his career in Ottawa.
I think probably most trades players feel very, much mixed emotions. I mean, there are times when a player really wants to move, and maybe that's not mixed emotions. But I think Cousins, what you said, of course, I'd believe it, wanted to be part of the solution, was also excited to go, at the same time.
He wasn't when it happened.
He wasn't at first. Okay.
No, not at first. But, once, I think he left the hotel and got on the plane. He may not even have been excited then, but, you're walking into the unknown. So now you're nervous. You don't know what to expect. You again are upset that you're leaving people who are your very, very good friends. He was very close to the team players on this team. Again, he liked playing here. He liked being a Sabre, and he wanted to be part of the solution, and was pretty upset that he didn't play well enough to be part of a solution. But once he got there and was greeted by the team and welcomed in and played his first game, realizing, hey, this might be a playoff team. They were either in the playoffs by 2 points or out of the playoffs by 2 points, I think, when he got there. And, so it's important games right away, and they won that game. And, so then now the excitement is generated because you've been welcomed. Now I think then you start getting excited. It's like, wow, okay, cool. They want me here. Hey, really cool. This might be a playoff team. Let's go, type of a thing. And then you do well in your first game, and the fans are screaming and yelling for you and everything, and now you're excited.
That'd be a good feeling. Big change. Ottawa, by the way, is 5 points up right now with 13 games to go. And again, the Senators are here with Cousins tomorrow night. One of the players the Sabres got in that trade, Jacob Bernard Docker, 2 assists yesterday. What kind of potential does he have to stick around?
Well, it's a former number 1 pick who just never really got the opportunity in Ottawa. and got hurt this year. He had a high ankle sprain. He was out since the 28th of December, was cleared on March 1st, but Ottawa never put him back in the lineup. He never got back in. And so he was very excited to leave because he just felt he wasn't going to get an opportunity there. He's played 2 games here for the Sabres, and the way I put it to Brian is I didn't really notice him, which for a defenseman means he probably played pretty well. That means you didn't go, oh, what are you doing there, or anything like that. It seemed like he did what he was supposed to do. Those are especially the assist to Dahlin. He put it right in the wheelhouse, so Dahlin could rip it. And, so he got a couple of assists in the game. He's played 2 games, and I think he's been okay for himself in those 2 games. But he's a shot blocker. That I do know about him. I remember that actually from watching the little that I've seen him play. And, a guy that, he did contribute a little bit offensively in that game, but wants to be solid defensively, and I think was in the 2 games he played.
We've talked about how with the signings like Zucker, Greenway, then Bryson, each move affords the Sabres going forward a little bit less roster flexibility naturally. But you do have this player, and you do have Kozak, who had a moment yesterday, Tyson Kozak in Winnipeg, and you like his game.
I like it a lot. He's just the guy you want with Beck Mallenstein as your number 4 center. A guy with energy, a guy that plays the game right, a guy that will dive in front of pucks to block a shot, a guy that after he wins the faceoff doesn't stand there and admire his work. He goes to the net and scores a goal off a rebound. And he plays the game the right way. He's not going to be a 20-goal scorer. I don't even know if he'll be a 10-goal scorer. But, he's the type of guy that – because I remember him when the Amherst went to the Eastern Conference Final. I saw a lot of those games and covered a lot of those games. He's always on the ice at the end of the game, always. He'll go face first into a shot if he has to. He will do anything to win a hockey game, and that was the first thing I noticed about him, watching him game in and game out, and watching Seth Appert always calling on him in those important situations to be out there. And I felt right then and there that here's a guy that's going to be in the NHL. He's not going to be a star or anything, but he's going to be that guy that you want on your team who will do it right and won't get himself caught all that often and will be in the middle of things. He'll be in the battles. He'll be in front of the net. He'll win you some faceoffs. He'll block some shots. He'll kill you a penalty. The little things that you need done by those certain guys.
1 goal yesterday for Kozak. The Sabres win in Winnipeg 5-3. I mean, pretty good. A regulation win in Winnipeg. They're lucky not to see Hellebuck probably, but the story became their own goalie.
It did. I mean, Comrie played like he did in Buffalo. I mean, it certainly was not one of his better games, and Reimer stood on his head. But there were a lot of other things to like from a Sabres standpoint in that game, I thought. Especially coming in, everything was against them. Winnipeg hadn't played since Thursday. Buffalo played in Minnesota the day before. They had played, it was their 3-4. Winnipeg had not lost in regulation at home since January. They were 7-0-1. They'd lost 5 games all year, regulation losses at home. They were 25-5-4 coming in. So everything was really built up against you. You're playing a team that came in with a .714 points percentage, which is second best in the NHL, with the best power play in the league, the best defense in the league, the 3rd best goal scoring in the league, and you had just played the day before, and you were in 3-4 in 3 different cities. And that's what you've heard the last 2 coaches talk about this, Lindy Ruff and Don Granato, that if you're going to be a good team, you have to learn how to win with your B game. And that's exactly what they did. And that doesn't mean just because you're tired and you're on the road and playing a good team doesn't mean, as I mentioned with Kozak, he wins the draw. 2 guys go to the net. You can still go to the net. You can still dive to get a puck out while you're killing a penalty like Connor Clifton did and show desperation to get the puck up to Mcleod, who then relayed it up to Tuck for a breakaway and a short-handed goal on a penalty that shouldn't even have been called. It actually should have been a Buffalo power play, not a penalty kill, so it was kind of justice for them that they scored. You can still do those types of things, score timely goals, even though maybe you don't have your energy like you want to, or you don't have your A game. That's what coaches are talking about when they do that. And so I think there was a lot for them to be proud of in that win, but when you look at the overall Mike, look at the last 5 games. They easily could have a 5-game winning streak, and that's what they have to build. Instead of being 3-2, they should be 5-0 right now in those 5 games. I mean, look at the Utah game. You're down by a goal. There's a delayed penalty. All you got to do is give them the puck, and you got a 6-on-4 to tie the game and maybe win the game. But we saw what happened. They didn't do that. They accidentally put the puck in their own net, and that's not the point. That happens. That was bad luck. But that game was right there for you, right there. But you make that mental error that you don't get it. Minnesota, you played 50 minutes of good hockey. 10 minutes killed you. The first period they played great. They had 3 or 4 grade A scoring opportunities. They had the goaltender down and out. Mcleod missed the net. All you had to do is put the puck on the net and he scores. I mean, they easily could have been up 3-0 at the end of the first period, but instead it was 0-0. Then all of a sudden they have 10 of the worst minutes they've had in some time, and they're behind 3-0, and that team hasn't lost all year when they got the lead in the third period. You're not beating them once you get by, and they played 10 bad minutes. So to me, you take those 2 games, when you become a playoff team, and you're going to become a good team, we have to be talking right now about a 5-game winning streak, not 3-2, and that's what they have to work towards.
By the way, speaking of Winnipeg, the Sabres there yesterday, the Capitals are there tomorrow night. And Ovechkin now within 6 of Gretzky. I assume he will get Hellebuck in that game tomorrow.
Yes.
6 away, 7 to win, 6 to tie for Ovechkin in 12 remaining games, including 1 against the Sabres. That's this Sunday, I think.
Yeah, if he gets a hat trick, maybe we'll have a shot on Sunday to seeing it. If he can find a hat trick this week.
Yeah, or he gets one on Sunday,
well,
if that's what it takes. We'll see. Paul, speaking of things that kill teams, how about Iowa State killing my bracket? Sorry, but man, it didn't go well for me this weekend.
Iowa State had a very, very, very good team, but they were the type of team when one guy was hurt, they were finished. That's when they started playing poorly. They had one guy who's a shooter that got hurt, and the season started to go down the drain. And then the guy who was the MVP of the Big 12 tournament last year and the MVP of the Maui tournament this year, Gilbert, he got hurt, played hurt, but he didn't play in the NCAA tournament. And that was the thing. When they had their full team, they were one of the best teams in the nation, and people were talking about them maybe winning it all and being in the Final Four, but they were missing that one guy, and they couldn't play defense the way they should, and that let the Mississippi State to go out and shoot the heck out of the basketball, because Iowa State, the guy that wasn't there is their best defensive guy, best pressure guy. He's also a good shooter. They have 2 good shooters. It took the kid from UB a while to get going. He did wind up with over 20 points, but they have another shooter just like him. He didn't hit a basket till almost 4 minutes left in the game. So when you got the other team shooting over 50% and 100% at the free throw line, and you're missing, and you're not playing D, you saw what happened.
I guess I could have done well to know all of this, but it didn't. It didn't happen. I don't mean brackets; it's more just that Survivor thing.
I tried to kid myself into thinking, well, you know what? Maybe they can do it without him, especially in the first game, but they were playing Lipscomb. I mean, they can win without them against Lipscomb, but I tried to kid myself into thinking, hey, you know what? All right, they can win without him. Those 2 get shooting and they get hot, but that's just too much to ask. I mean, they've proven time and time again this year that they have a really, really good team when they have a full team, but if one of those guys is out, they have problems.
Paul, thanks. Talk to you tomorrow during pregame.